I just got back from the gym. I've been kind of lacking lately, not really doing it as consistently as I used to. And a lot of it's because like I've just been in a rut, really, broken down. It just feels like life isn't treating you well. And it sucks because, the gym, eating healthy, getting up early and doing my morning routines and constantly keeping myself distracted in the name of productivity, it silenced the voices for a really long time. The voices of feeling like, you know, you're a shit stain on the side of the planet. The voices telling you that, you know, no one likes you. The voices telling you just, bad shit. And I've reached the point where I don't see the point of continuously running from that. And I wanted to talk about this phase that I'm in where self-improvement stops working. It only works up to a certain point. It's like you're in shape, you eat well, you got a girlfriend, you got good friends, and you can only optimize your routine so much to the point where you kind of reach a new happiness baseline. And the stuff that got you there isn't the stuff you can keep doing for the sake of your own mental health. And in this period of your life, if you're watching this, and my life, where life kind of forces you to calm down, it's really uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable to have to sit with these thoughts that you used to blame on not being in good shape, and you used to blame on outer circumstances, and used to blame on not having the perfect routine, and used to blame on other people, and you used to blame all these issues that you are facing on external things. You doing external things. And it's reached the point where I kind of am realizing that I have no control over certain circumstances in my life. I have no control over anything other than how I respond to the emotions that I feel. And when you grew up as a kid and you have these things that are told to you about how you can't act like that because it's not manly like, and you can't act like that because it's not what my son would do, and you can't act like that, you start to wear a mask, and it reaches a point where you can't keep the facade up anymore, and the things that you used to do stop working. And there's nothing that you can do really but surrender to some higher power, surrender to the fact that you have no control ultimately, because holding on so tight to this dream that wasn't even your dream to begin with starts to hurt you. And when you keep such a tight grip on these ideals and these masks and these personas that you've done such a good job to upkeep in your culture or your town or your school, and you hold on for it so tight, it starts to, kind of make your hand purple. It starts kind of losing oxygen, and then when you let go, it hurts really bad. And it's kind of what I'm going through right now, and all I've really been able to do is just, get on my knees and just pray for some relief, because my ego is just getting torn apart limb from limb, you know? Getting into a relationship, trying to restructure my values. You know, the relationship I'm in is long distance, and so, you know, in the past I've been a lot more problematic when it came to trust, and I'm learning to just love myself so it doesn't even have to be an issue. And it's hard. It's hard when the stuff that you've been doing stops working. It's tough when you can no longer keep living in this delusion because you've let somebody into your heart and they know that the illusion that you're casting on the videos that you're making and the reels that you're making and this life that you are trying to fake until you make is a facade. And you know, it's really tough. And I wish that I could, hopefully you guys can kind of live vicariously through me in these videos I make. I like to give wisdom, but I'm just a fucking 20-year-old kid. I don't know shit. But I find constantly late nights where I start to question the point of even being alive. And what to do when the people you come across know you as this person who pretends to be perfect, but in reality, you're crumbling and you don't even feel like you can express your emotions because it's out of alignment with this person who you used to be that you no longer want to be anymore. And I think that's kind of why, you know, getting on your knees and just praying to something helps, is because it's like, you know, you feel like you're left for dead. You know, you feel like you've hurt the people around you and you've not been somebody who has integrity. There's definitely a better word for that. And it just feels like the stuff you've been doing has stopped working. And so you lose your footing, and all of a sudden you're, you know, a 4-year-old kid who gets locked in his room, punished for something he didn't even like realize he was doing, and it just feels like you're getting punished. And you crumble, and the only thing that you can do is just surrender to it, because the latter is vice indulgence, going back to stuff that doesn't serve you either. But I'm aiming to overcome my vice that is being a workaholic, just productivity for the sake of productivity, this anxious doing of everything to avoid the voices in your head from bubbling up and you having to face them for what they are. And like, if my fucking 13-year-old self could see me now, you know, you're muscular, you got a YouTube channel, you got 600 subscribers. If my 10-year-old self could see that, he'd be shitting his pants. And yet I'm still that 10-year-old kid. You just have to act like you know what's going on occasionally. And no one has it figured out. Like, I know that. But when you have to face the reality for what it is, you have to face your ego, your inner child that bubbles up when you get into a relationship and attachment styles become underway, and these relationships that you haven't really ever had in terms of intimacy since it was being a kid with your mother or father, and the issues and scars that they left you with, it's hard to not just feel like, as a man, your emotions are not just a burden. Your emotions are not just something that you just need to pack down and never talk about for being afraid of looking weak. You know, being afraid that if you act like a fucking wet blanket, even though you're actually suffering, you'll drive the people away around you. And it's like, I'm not a victim. Like, I don't know, like, you kind of do need to suck it up, you know? It doesn't help to talk about it and get pity from other people and to think that you're victimized and to think that you are a member of being wronged by someone, because that's all too prominent nowadays, you know? You got straight white men thinking they're oppressed. I am straight white man, you know? But it sucks to suffer in silence. It sucks to open yourself up to somebody else when you've been hurt before. It sucks to talk about the fact that, you know, when you don't get a reply for a couple hours, it feels like your whole world is crumbling. And you know in your mind that it's not rational, but you just struggle with shaking the thought. And you go to the gym and you work out the weights, and you just get distracted by this feeling of this just sense of dread that just follows you around. And you try to just keep doing the stuff that's working. You try to like perfect your morning routine. You try to perfect your nutrition. You try to post more often, so you're just constantly thinking about the next thing you need to be doing. And then once you have to let go and just realize that you're just running from yourself and you have to face it, it sucks. It sucks to feel like you're getting ripped apart limb from limb, and that the true essence of yourself is just being rebirthed just because of, I don't even know if it's a relationship or what, or if it's just burnout. You know, your body getting sick of faking it for so long, and the true values that you have finally coming to fruition, and your body getting sick of constantly going against what you were actually meant to do. And I think it's some real shit when I think about, like, cars coming. I'm gonna get hit by a car. That'd be funny as fuck. But like, I don't even know what I was gonna say. You know, you can look at the buff gym guy, but a lot of it's built from pain. A lot of the muscle is built from pain. A lot of it's torturing yourself because you feel like you're such a fucking waste of space. And it makes you feel better after you're done. You feel a little proud of yourself. But sometimes you just want to be happy. And yet in this game where it feels like it's survival of the fittest, you kind of have to suck it up. At least it seems like, as a man. So, I don't really know what to say, fellas, but I suggest you spend time with friends, do stuff differently, and just, I don't know. I have nothing. I have nothing to offer but my words of silence. I don't want pity, I just want relief. But it sucks when all the shit you've been bearing finally comes up. Like, especially relationships, man. Like, they bring up all the shit that you thought you buried forever ago. Anyways, boys, I wish I could give you advice, but I kind of feel like I've been pretending like I'm fucking Jesus when I'm not. Like, I don't know shit. And I guess that's okay. But if you're watching this video and you feel like me, at least you're not alone, because, you know, none of us are really like that special, and that sucks, but it's also great, you know, because at least maybe this video will find somebody who's going through the same shit. I ain't got the answers, bro. I'm done pretending like I do. I just want the freedom to live again. Not always have something in the back of my ear harping at me to do something that's more productive. I just want to live again. And I'm slowly getting my life back. Thanks be to God. Anyways, boys, I'm gonna go to bed. Godspeed.